meds, relaxation, and welcome to my very first True Crime Tuesday. Tonight we delve into a story that is both haunting and heartbreaking, a tale of secrecy, cruelty, and an anonymous letter that unraveled a 25-year nightmare. So, before we begin, mic check, 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 check. Mood reset. Sit back and relax. Imagine a wealthy, aristocratic family in France. A beautiful woman, full of life and love, and a dark secret hidden behind closed doors. This is the story of Blanche Monnier, also known as the sequestered woman of Poitiers. Blanche Monnier was born in 1849 in Poitiers, France, into a well-respected family. Her father was a prominent official, and her mother, Madame Monnier, was a strict and harsh woman who maintained a pristine social reputation. Blanche grew up in privilege, enjoying the luxuries of high society, but despite her wealth, she longed for something more: love, freedom, and a life of her own choosing. In her mid-20s, Blanche fell deeply in love with an older lawyer. He was not a man of status, nor was he wealthy, and this infuriated her mother. Madame Monnier had grand ambitions for her daughter's future, and she was determined to put an end to the relationship at any cost. One day, Blanche was simply gone. Her friends, her neighbors, and her extended family never saw her again. They were told she had left for a convent, but that was a lie. Instead of allowing Blanche to marry the man she loved, her mother and brother took matters into their own hands. They locked Blanche in a tiny, windowless attic room. It was no bigger than a closet, with only a small cot and a chamber pot. The shutters were nailed shut, and the door remained bolted from the outside. At first, Blanche must have screamed, begged, pleaded for mercy, but no one listened. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Eventually, 25 years passed. For 2.5 decades, Blanche Monnier lived in total darkness. The once vibrant young woman was now a forgotten prisoner in her own home. Her meals consisted of nothing more than scraps of food, whatever was left over from the family's dinner table. With no fresh air, no sunlight, and no human contact aside from her captors, she wasted away. Her mother and brother continued life as usual, attending social gatherings, hosting elaborate dinners, and maintaining the facade of a proper, upstanding family. No one ever suspected a thing. Then, in May 1901, everything changed. A mysterious letter arrived at the police station. It was unsigned, but its message was clear. There is a woman locked up in a house, half starving, living in filth. The police immediately launched an investigation. Upon arriving at the Monnier residence, they questioned Madame Monnier, who denied everything. But something seemed off. The officers searched the home and when they reached the upper floor, they noticed a strong, putrid stench coming from behind a locked door. They forced it open. Inside, they found Blanche Monnier. The room was pitch black. The shutters were sealed. Blanche lay naked on a rotting mattress, her skeletal body covered in filth and sores. She weighed only 55 pounds. Her hair was matted, her nails grotesquely long. She had not seen the sun in over 2 decades. The officers recoiled at the horrific scene. The stench was unbearable. The floor was littered with rotten food and human waste. Blanche shielded her eyes from the sudden exposure to light, something she had not experienced since her 20s. She had been forgotten by the world, but she was still alive. Blanche was rushed to a hospital where doctors were shocked by her condition. They could not believe that a woman had endured such isolation and malnutrition for so long. Despite everything, she did not speak ill of her mother. It was as if years of captivity had broken her spirit entirely. Madame Monnier was immediately arrested. Crowds gathered outside the courthouse, furious at the monstrous cruelty she had inflicted. But before she could face trial, she died of heart failure just 15 days later. Blanche's brother, Marcel Monnier, was charged as well, but he was later acquitted due to legal loopholes. He claimed that Blanche could have left at any time, a statement so absurd it only fueled public outrage. And Blanche? She never fully recovered. After spending 25 years in the darkness, she spent the rest of her life in a psychiatric hospital where she passed away in 1913. And the most mysterious part, no one knows who sent the letter that led to her rescue. Was it a guilty family member, a loyal servant, or perhaps someone who had known the truth for years and could no longer keep the secret? If you found this story as chilling as I did, let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to join next week for another True Crime Tuesday. Until then, stay safe and sleep